In this video, I'm going to explain 3 different scenarios that can happen in the case of separable verbs in Dutch. Now, first of all, we need to understand what separable verbs are. They are basically verbs with an extension. In many cases, that's a preposition, but it could also be an adjective, for example. In the following examples, I colored the verb parts green and the extensions blue. They are pronounced as follows: dicht doen, meenemen, ophalen, schoonmaken. Did you notice that in all cases the stress or emphasis in pronunciation was on the first syllable? Please remember that this is an important characteristic of a separable verb. The way you can analyze separable verbs in terms of meaning is often that they have a verb or an action part and a result part. I colored the verb parts green and the so-called result parts blue here. For example, in the first word here, dicht doen, the result is dicht, closed, and the action is doen. So we literally get do close, which translates simply to close. The last example, schoonmaken, literally means clean make. You make something clean. Now, what happens when we use separable verbs in a Dutch sentence? 3 things can happen. The first scenario is big separation. In this case, the result and the verb parts of the separable verb switch positions and are often far away from each other, as you can see in the examples. In the example, ik maak nu de woonkamer schoon. The second scenario is small separation, in which case the result and the verb parts remain in the same order, but they are separated by a word like ge or te, as we can see in the examples. Ik heb de woonkamer schoongemaakt. Ik probeer de woonkamer schoon te maken. The third scenario is where there is no separation. The example sentences here are: ik moet vandaag de woonkamer schoonmaken. Ik hoop dat ze de woonkamer goed schoonmaakt. Now I will break down the 3 scenarios separately. Big separation happens when the separable verb is the only verb that is used in a standard sentence or main clause. If you want a refresher on main clauses and subclauses, watch this video of mine. As you can see, the verb part comes in the second position of the sentence and the result part comes late. The sentences here are read as follows. Wij doen de deur nu dicht. Wij nemen genoeg geld mee. Ik haal het pakketje morgen op. Ze maakt de woonkamer schoon. As for small separation, there are a few ways this can happen, but in my mind there are mainly 2 scenarios that you should remember. The first scenario is in the case of the present perfect, or de voltooide tijd in Dutch. Here you often see the prefix ge attached to a verb. This prefix comes in between the 2 parts of the separable verb. So we go from a sentence with a basic verb, ik heb mijn huiswerk gemaakt, to one with a separable verb, ik heb de woonkamer schoongemaakt. The second scenario is when you use the word te, about which you can learn more in this video of mine. This word, just like the prefix ge, comes in between the 2 parts of the separable verb. The example sentences here are: ik probeer de woonkamer schoon te maken. And wij proberen de woonkamer schoon te maken. Now finally, when do we have no separation? There is no separation when we combine the separable verb with a modal verb or with the verb gaan, for example. In these cases, you can see the separable verb in its original infinitive form somewhere at the end of the sentence. The example sentences are read as follows. We moeten de woonkamer schoonmaken. Ik ga het pakketje nu ophalen. De studenten kunnen geen geld meenemen. There is also no separation when the separable verb is the only verb used in subclauses. In these 2 examples, the conjunction dat sends the verb towards the end of the sentence. There it cannot be separated, so we get the sentences. Ik hoop dat je genoeg geld meeneemt. Ik denk dat ze vandaag het pakketje ophalen. Now let's put all of this to the test. In these 5 sentences, the separable verbs are not used in the right form. With one exception, by the way. Can you spot the mistakes? Pause the video and go back to earlier slides if you need to. Here are the answers. Je mag het schilderij niet aanraken. Wij hebben het probleem opgelost. Sla jij de bestanden op? We moeten opschieten omdat ze morgen weggaan. Ze probeert het uit te leggen. Thank you for your attention. Put some of your own sentences with a separable verb in the comment section and I will correct them. Don't forget to subscribe and speak to you in the next video.